Welcome to the 4th episode of the PostUp podcast. We're back, and today we're going to be discussing the Atlantic Division. Woo! Atlantic Division! Woo, yeah, let's go! We'll start with Philly, since that's Owen's team, so he can get his rant over.
Rant? What have we got?
Yeah, it's not going to be a rant, is it? Go on, what have you got to say?
In short, I think we'd be one of the best teams in the league.
I agree.
If at the start of the off-season, if you said we'd lose Jimmy Butler and JJ Redick, I'd be like, oh god, what are we going to look like next season? But somehow we're a better team.
Allegedly. Not proven yet.
On paper, in person, we are a better team. Like, swapping out Jimmy for Josh Richardson isn't that big of a downgrade, realistically. He's a better defender, and he's a low-maintenance offensive player. I think he'd be a better fit. And adding Al Horford, oh my god, I can't wait to watch him play. I just can't wait to see him on a court with Embiid, watching them dominate together. So yeah, I think we'll do a bit better than next year. Also because our bench is a lot better, because last year we had Jonathan Simmons on our bench. He's one of the worst players I've ever seen play. but now we got Zaire Smith coming back, Matisse Thybulle, Kyle O'Quinn, Shake Milton's going to get a good run, Raul Neto. So, I think we could get 54 wins. Yeah,
looking at it, like you said about basically swapping Josh Richardson for Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler, very ball dominant, like you said before, in the fourth quarter, like the last 2 minutes, the ball's in his hands every single possession.
Last 8 minutes.
He wants to be the standout guy, and getting Josh Richardson, who probably a better defender,
way better.
Yeah, he's not going to want the ball that much, which gives Simmons and Embiid the chance to run the plays, and Embiid probably average about 40 points a game if you keep running the pick and roll.
And with Jimmy leaving now, Ben's going to have more chance to have the ball in his hands, which is only going to help him grow. But Richardson in Miami, he was like the number one option. The offense ran through him, so at least he's got that experience. So if we need to get a bucket, it's like we're looking at a starting five. Any one of those could get you a bucket.
Yeah.
Which we've never been able to say when we have Wilson Chandler starting power forward or JJ Redick. He could shoot, but anything other than that, he was useless. So I think we have confidence in every single player in our starting five.
You could have said it at the second half of last season when you traded for Tobias Harris, because you had all the players averaging over 15 points a game.
Yeah.
But now, because that was good and it worked, but now you've got it even better because it works in your system.
All five of our players can score at every level, like 3 points excluding Ben Simmons.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
so far.
Do you wanna...
you could come in next year with a 3-point shot, but mid-range...
Unlikely, though.
Like JJ, you can never get to the rim, or you can never do anything like that. So having someone like Josh Richardson who can do literally everything, it's going to be a nice change.
Yeah, like you said about the bench, obviously in the playoffs last season you were only using one or two players off the bench, but now you've actually got potential. Obviously using JJ Redick isn't great. It'd be good if you got Carl Corver in instead, but you didn't.
Yeah, I don't like him anymore.
Yeah, but
he's not my friend.
But the bench does look better, and obviously Milton's back, Zaya's back, and you got Thybulle as well, and they could just be. It'll just help the team out. They might not be great now, but give them a few games. If Embiid has to come off injured, obviously it's not a direct swap, you can move the team around, and there's so many options for Philly now, more than there was last season. There was just a starting five last year, and now they've got a squad.
And when Embiid sat out games last year, who do we have come in, Boban Marjanovic or Amir Johnson? And when them two in the game, you're like, oh, for God's sake, please just try and hold on to the lead. But now we've got Kyle O'Quinn. He's a solid defender. He's not going to do much offensively, but now we got our team locked up for the next couple of years. So for the first time in years, maybe even a decade, we have roster stability where we have a good idea what our team's going to look like in 3 years. It's not going to look much different. So I feel like having that sort of team cohesion, or they're all used to playing with each other, is another big thing.
Yeah, you say you got a secure team, but as soon as LeBron gets a tradable asset for Simmons,
it's not going to happen.
He
trusts the process.
He might trust the process, but as we've seen in the off season's really telling. We see Russell and Booker together a bunch, and then you see LeBron. Watching LeBron be with Westbrook all the time was hard, But obviously Westbrook's gone anyway. But Simmons and LeBron, it'll happen soon.
The only thing they could trade for him in terms of matching salary and the player ability is Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
I feel like LeBron will get tired of AD eventually and then trade him to the Sixers for Simmons.
Hope not. I really hope not.
I think you don't need AD with the team you got. Embiid power forward, AD centre, all the way around.
Or a Horford point guard, just go for the big boy line.
No, I'm saying Horford. Horford's like out of the team by then. How old's Horford?
33, 34.
Yeah. So I'm saying like in like 2-3 years, AD in for Simmons.
Yeah.
It could happen.
But touching back onto roster stability, the bench is almost like a new bench. You're going to have a lot of new players. So it's going to take, I would say, about 20-30 games for them to really gel, to just be able to play at their 100%. And if you're going to bring in another player like Tyler Cephalosha or Iman Shumpert, it might take minutes off of Zaire or Tybal. But in the long run, I think adding another veteran wing is only going to help them grow as players. Like teaching them how to play the position, how to just be a good 3-and-D player.
Yeah, who would you rather out of Cephalosha and who's the other one? Shumpert.
I'd rather Cephalosha because he's not expecting much playing time.
Yeah.
He'd come in just to be a mentor, I think. Or Vince Carter, he's available.
Hmm.
But I remember him saying when he was commentating in a summer league game, he wants to go somewhere where he's going to play like 15 minutes a game, which we just can't offer him that.
Come to OKC.
He'd be a starting small forward.
Probably. But yeah, Korver would have been like the perfect fix. I feel like you need like a shooter off the bench. That's why I might be leaning towards more getting Shumpert in instead of Cephalosha because he can get you more
He
points.
shot 40% from 3 last year, Cephalosha.
Yeah, but I just feel like
Shumpert's like a better, more like well-rounded scorer.
Yeah, but like you said, if you want a player just to come in and like train the young players to form them into elite players, or you want that player to come off the bench and get points, like you more want somebody just to come in and to help the young players because you've got like Ennis and Scott.
Yeah.
And Thibault shot decent in the summer league. Obviously, it's very different playing in the league.
Like I don't want anyone to come in to take minutes off the two youngsters. I'd rather just give them as much minutes as they want in the regular season so they're ready to play in the playoffs. So it's not like a different beast altogether. Just give them as much experience as you can early on, just to prepare them.
Alright, so speak very highly about your team. What record do you think you'll get? What your record last season was 51 wins. Do you think you'll improve on that?
I mean, if every player played all 82 games, we could win over 60 games, but I think Embiid is going to sit a lot of games. Personally, I don't want him to play more than 55, 60 games. Same with Horford. He's old, he has knee problems. So I'd rather them sit whenever they need to during the regular season, just to prepare for the playoffs. So that's going to hurt our record slightly, but I still think we could get maybe 53, 54 wins.
Yeah, because if you rest, like, I agree that you'd probably be like a 60 win team if everybody stayed fit for the season. Everybody could get through the whole season, and it's not even the fact that you could rest Embiid and Horford and like maybe drop down to like the second seed. You would still. It's not like there's like a massive class in the East where you're like the 8th seed's gonna be a lot easier than the 7th seed. Like those games are gonna be fairly easy. Well, not easy because obviously it's the playoffs, but like it's gonna be easier than like getting a difficult team like maybe in the West where the teams are slightly a bit better. So yeah, so I'd have said more 60 wins if everybody would play, but I think I went for like 58, 56 wins, 57 wins.
Ooh, ambitious.
Yeah, I do quite like the Sixers. I think it'll work.
But I feel like last year when Embiid sat out games, as I said earlier, we didn't have a good player stepping in. But when he sits now, Horford will go down to centre, Tobias power forward, and then maybe James Ennis would start or Zaire Smith. So
Tybal.
Even Tybal. So we've got so many good options to put in. So it's exciting to finally have like players you can rely on the bench. That's something I've never had before. So it's quite kind of new to me.
And you could say that you've trusted the process and it's worked.
It has worked. It's paid off. So
always trust the process.
The only thing I hate being favourites. I love being the underdog.
Yeah.
Because like going into the season, Boston last season, they were the overwhelming favourites to contend with the Warriors, and look how that turned out. So.
Yeah, well.
But we got no Kyrie on our team, so.
No.
Hopefully we don't collapse in some way, but.
Yeah, you don't have Kyrie, and you've got rid of the potential toxicity of Jimmy Butler.
Goodbye. Good riddance.
Moving on to the Celtics, it's been probably a good change for them. Kyrie for Kemba.
Up and down. Like, Kyrie for Kemba's a fantastic change.
Yeah.
But they swapped out Horford for Kanter, which is horrific.
Yeah, like from a defensive point of view, it's that team you're looking, you're thinking. We were looking at the Sixers last season, and you thought they all were averaging over 15 points. You can look at the Celtics and think the same out of all those players. Yeah. They could all average over 15 points, but defensively,
horrific, awful. It's like Kemba, he's too small to stay in front of anyone. And then you got Hayward, he's still not the athlete he once was after his injury. Tatum's going to have to go power forwards. And then Kanter might be the worst defensive centre in the league. So, and then coming off the bench, Marcus Smart's good. But that's it. Like Grant Williams, unproven rookie. Romeo Langford, unproven rookie. Robert Williams, unproven second-year player. So, looking at that team, there's no one there apart from Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown, who are going to be stoppers defensively.
Yeah, obviously you said there that Tatum would be guarding the power forward position. Obviously you've seen playing power forward. I think they'll play with Hayward off the bench and start Tatum and maybe like play Williams at power forward.
You know, Brad Stevens and Hayward have the connection going back all the way to college. Like that's pretty much his son, Gordon Hayward.
Yeah, bro, I just feel like
he can never do it.
Is those sort of players that would be better for the team off the bench, like a Lou Williams, I agree, like these players.
I don't know if they would do it, or if Hayward would agree to it.
Mm.
But if he wants to win, he needs to come off the bench.
It just seems like the best option for the Celtics.
And start Robert Williams or for some defense in the interior.
Trade for Steven Adams.
Trade for anyone good.
Give us Gordon Hayward.
Actually, no. Stay bad. Could we want to beat you?
Yeah. We need to stop talking about OKC and trading Adams away.
We can talk about OKC in a couple.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll get my time. So how much of an effect is getting rid of the toxic Kyrie for a more humble Kemba?
Well, obviously getting rid of his personality is a massive win, but you're going from one ball-dominant scorer to another ball-dominant scorer. So it'd be interesting to see if Kemba is going to take on more of like a playmaker role, because in Charlotte he had to score. Yeah. There's no other option, so I would like to see him get Jaylen Brown or Tatum more involved, just so it helps them like reach their potentials. Because if they play as like a cohesive unit, I mean that's like a top 3 seed with Walker, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. They could all average over 20 points if they wanted to. But I don't know, is he going to pass or is he just going to score? I think
he has to. Obviously it's different to like we were saying about Westbrook going to Houston and how he's not going to change his game. But it's different for Kemba because Kemba's literally been playing with, like, it's his team. Like, he's had no one working with him. So he's not had to pass the ball for years. It's literally just been get the ball, shoot. But now he's actually got players he can rely on and trust. He can trust Brown, Hayward and Tatum and Kanter all to get points. So he can actually, I think he will like bring a different like side. Well, should we say different side of Kemba?
Yeah, but
I think he'll only be good for them.
I'm still worried about. It's going to be the players are still going to be slightly selfish, because Kemba, he's going to want to prove that he's worth the money, so he's going to take shots. Jaylen Brown is in a contract year, he's going to want to put up points if he gets paid. Hayward wants to prove that he's back to normal, so he's going to shoot whenever he gets a chance. Same with Kanter, he's only got a 2-year contract, and he's only getting paid $5 million a year, so he wants to win one last big contract. So they're still going to have issues potentially down the road, but I hope they fail. I hope they fail.
I mean, yeah, you hope everybody fails because they're in your division and in your conference. But what do you think about Romeo Langford, the rookie that they got in?
I've always liked him, but when in his only season at Indiana, he shot the ball awfully.
Yeah, he's not a shooter.
Because he had a thumb issue all season long and he played through it. But he has a good shooting motion. If he never had that thumb injury, he could have been a good shooter or shot good percentages. And he still has that issue now. I think he might be having surgery soon. So hopefully, Boston hopefully his thumb is fixed, because he can be a good scorer. But I don't get why they drafted him in the lottery when they already had Jaylen Brown and Tatum in his position. Didn't make sense unless they're like preparing to lose Jaylen Brown this off season.
Yeah, maybe, possibly. But I'm not as knowledgeable of rookies as you are. So, from what I know about rookies is how far I've played on 2K, and this Langford always goes to the Celtics. It happens. Like I've simulated in the future many times, and it always happens. He always goes there. And in the second season, to be fair, he did pick up a 3-point shot, and he was shooting decent percentages. So, could it happen, or is 2K just lying to me? I don't know who to trust.
And when you look at look at their point guard depth. Kemba Walker 6'1", Tremont Waters 5'11", Carson Edwards 6 foot. They're tiny. Like put them against Philadelphia. Who are they guarding?
Yeah, who's taking Simmons?
Who's Kemba Walker gonna guard? What, the 6'7" Josh Richardson, the smallest player in our lineup? So I feel this team is too small to really be to win. They might cap out as like a fifth seed, fourth seed maybe.
Yeah, I can see them getting a good seed spot purely because of how not how weak the East is, but compared to the West, it isn't as stacked. How many wins did the Celtics get last season?
49.
With Kyrie. 49 wins with Kyrie. So we say how toxic they were. That's still a good amount of wins.
Good amount of wins, but I think they, even though they've swapped out Kyrie for Kemba, they've still managed to get worse. Because going from Horford, who's the best defensive big in the league, to Kanter, who's the worst, that's such a big disparity. So I think they are going to be slightly worse, like maybe 46, 47 wins.
Yeah, I was going like near the 50 mark, like 48, 49, purely because obviously getting like a Kanter for Horford isn't like good for them for defensive reasons. But I'm thinking if the team can click, if Kemba turns into a good playmaker, I can see it happening more than the ifs with the other teams. So I feel like they could get a better record than they did last season. But I'm playing it safe by saying they'll just get slightly worse.
The only way they'd get a better record, in my opinion, if they start Taco Fall over in this Kanter.
I mean, Taco Fall will win them the championship, easy.
Just get Taco Fall to stand in the paint with 1 foot so he doesn't break any of the rules. Just stand with his arms up in the air, and no one's going to go into the paint. So, I mean, it's an effective use on offense. Give them the ball, tell them to put the ball in the air so no one can reach it, and just dunk it over everyone.
Yeah, just pick and roll, alley-oop, Taco Fall.
Yeah, they need to sign him up before like someone else poaches him, because he could be a really effective player like one day, maybe even in this season.
Wherever he goes, I'm going to be watching games of theirs, but just because I want to see Taco.
Yeah. Imagine a Boban, but better.
Pretty much.
He could be a really useful player this season for Boston. Moving
over to New York and the Knicks, obviously 17 wins last season, the worst team in the NBA last year. It's not as good as they expected. There's no Kyrie, there's no KD, there's no Zion. But they do have RJ Barrett.
I mean, they got a better version of Zion and Julius Randle, so I mean that's one
fact.
Thing.
I mean, Kanter said it himself.
Yeah, but I feel like a lot of people are clowning the Knicks for not getting like the big stars. But low-key, they've had a good off-season. They've improved a lot. Well, they didn't have the star, but they added. I mean, Barrett's okay, I guess, but Julius Randle, Portis, Marcus Morris, Gibson, Bullock, Payton, Ellington. They've got some good players.
You say they've improved a lot. It's not difficult to improve from 17 wins. When you've got so much cap space in an off-season, when there's so many players to choose from, it wasn't hard to get more than 17 wins out of a team. To build a new team and get more than 17 wins.
Fair point, but their bench is looking nice. Portis, he's probably going to come off the bench. Marcus Morris, Bullock, Gibson.
There's a lot of options.
Basically, all the players I just named are going to come off the bench.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Dennis Smith Jr.
Same.
I feel like he doesn't have much about him.
He's just a dunker, really.
Yeah, he just dunks, doesn't he? Really.
If you want to win, he can't be on your team.
I haven't seen enough of him to like.
I mean, there's a reason the Mavericks traded him for nothing.
Well,
Porzingis, I suppose, but.
Yeah, but I'm a massive fan of Knox. I feel like.
I mean, he had a historically bad rookie season in terms of advanced analytics.
Yeah, but he did play on a team with 17 wins.
Watching him play, do you know, when you watch someone and you can just tell straight away they have it. Like, they're such a good. I can't describe it, but maybe they have the it factor.
Yeah.
Where one day he's going to be one of the best scorers.
I mean, he started the first game in the Summer League by hitting 3 threes in a row. I'm not saying Splash Brother number 3, I'm saying Splash Brother number 3.
Baby KD.
Baby KD.
I mean, that's how I've always seen him. Like the way he plays.
He's physical. He's
probably
long.
not going to get the Durant's level.
No.
Maybe 20 point per game. You might cap out that.
Yeah, 20 point a game sounds about good. But I'm a big fan of that. I hope to see him flurry this. I hope they give him the ball in every possession.
And I think that's the problem because this team could be very selfish. Because Dennis Smith Jr., he's got tunnel vision. He just shoots. Same with RJ Barrett. He just shoots. Same with Julius Randle. He just shoots. So it's not a good team. They haven't built the team well around Kevin Knox. I feel like RJ Barrett was like possibly the worst choice they could have made because you don't want another ISO ball dominant scorer. If they I don't know, somehow swindle a trade to get Ja Morant or just anyone who passes the ball would have been good. But unfortunately, they made a mistake, definitely.
Let's talk about your hatred for RJ Barrett.
He's not a good player, is he?
In the draft, you said that he was the wrong choice after watching one game in the summer league and watching him run into traffic every time he had possession. But then after that, he did put up 22 points in the next 2 games.
He just kept on shooting. I just don't get how he thinks. It's like in basketball, when you're running and you see a wall of 3 tall players in front of you, you don't run into it. You pass out to the open guy. And so many times, he just runs into it and flings up a stupid shot and misses. Even though, I remember watching this one, he tried this under the basket reverse layup when there's 3 players around him.
Yeah.
Kevin Knox was wide open in the corner. There was no one near him. Kick her out and you got 3 points.
Obviously, because Kevin Knox is Splash Brother number 3.
But he just flung up a stupid shot over his head and he missed. I don't get why. Like, if he, like, you know Steve Nash, he's his godfather, spend all your time with him and just learn how to pass.
Yeah.
And then you will be a good player. But until he, like, learns how to be a team player, you'll never be a good player on a winning team.
Yeah, I feel like he probably believes his own hype too much. Obviously, getting third round in the draft, third pick in the draft. I think he believes that, I might be wrong, because I don't know him personally. It's just what I see. He's been like praised as a good player. He was good in college, and I feel like he's just trying to show people how good he is. But
going up
obviously,
through the ranks,
it's a level higher in the NBA than there is to college.
When he was in high school, like going up the ranks through the years, he was always like the best player in this draft class. He was nicknamed the Maple Mamba because people thought he was going to be the next Kobe. So he's always had hype. Maybe it's gone to his head and he believes his own hype.
It's possible.
I mean, that's probably the case, but yeah, I mean, he has a lot of issues in this place though.
Another player that I like in this Knicks, I'm a fan of this Knicks team. Another player I like, Mitchell Robinson. He's been shooting threes in training.
One of my favourite players in the league.
Shooting threes.
He can be so dominant.
He's quite like skinny for a centre, but he's still good. Like he's still like is physical. He gets blocks and he's totally difficult to beat.
Him and Mo Bamba like in the same thing, where like they're still like raw players, but add a bit of muscle, get a shot, and you can be so dominant. But I mean, you saw how dominant Robinson was defensively last season. Like he came off the bench, but so he'd be in the game for 3 minutes and he'd have like 5 blocks.
Yeah.
I remember
it's very long.
He blocked Embiid like 3 times in 2 minutes against Philadelphia last season. I was like, Jesus Christ, you're good.
And their bench has improved so much. Portis will give you like high teens in points. And looking at Ignas Brazdeikis, when RJ Barrett was putting up decent points, so was our man Brazdeikis.
Dropped the 30 piece.
This is our guy. If he ever makes it, just come back to this podcast and be like, yeah, we called this. Brazdeikis is going to be a star.
Is he going to get a chance?
He's going to be a star.
There's too many players on that bench. Because how many players on that bench is good enough to play? Portis, Marcus Morris, Bullock, Gibson, Payton, Trier, Dodson, Ellington, Ntilikina, and Brazdeikis. That's 10 players on the bench. And normally only 5 players come off the bench. So like, it'll be interesting to see what they do and how they like manage their rotations. But surely you gotta look at like Ellington or Ntilikina, maybe even like Dodson as like trade targets. So I can't see them all being happy with playing like 5 minutes a game.
Yeah, I feel bad for like Trier, Ntilikina, and Brazdeikis. They might not get like the chance that they deserve.
Yeah.
So I feel like they probably should like try and move, or just in the minutes they do play, just don't pass the ball and and just.
And that was the Celtics' problem last year.
Yeah, and just show how good you are. Try and get more minutes, but they probably deserve more minutes. That bench is too long.
What the Knicks wanted to do by signing all these players Do you know at the trade deadline where like all like the good teams are looking to like finalize their rosters by like poaching like bench players? They're gonna cash in on a lot of those players.
Mm-hmm.
They could be looking at a couple first round picks, second round picks, maybe like a young player. And if they fail to do that, then they can just turn down the team option next summer and save like 10 million on each player. So
maybe the second half of the season is going to be where Trier and Brasdika shine.
Quite a savvy move by the Knicks. I didn't know they had her in them. I thought they were a bunch of dumb people in the front office.
They're learning.
I don't know. They could get quite a lot of assets come the trade deadline.
So obviously they had 17 wins last season. How much of improvement do we see them doing?
Potentially around maybe 28 wins.
Yeah, I went for 25 wins.
Yeah.
I think it's an improvement, obviously.
Still not a good team though.
Yeah, but it's not quite ready yet.
Yeah.
Like the players just like Dennis Smith Jr., Barrett, Knox, Robinson, they're not.
They're still a couple of years away.
Yeah, they're not ready for playoff contention. But it's a step up.
I think they're going to be waiting for the free agent class in 2 years' time, because next year is a bad free agent class. There's no stars available, so I think they're just going to bide their time, be bad for the next 2 years, and then they're going to have so much cap space by the time in 2 years' time. So I think they're just going to attack Giannis, Anthony Davis, or whoever's available.
I would just quite like to see Melo go back to the Knicks.
Why? That's the last player they need on that team.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Just sign a 1-day contract and retire.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all. But when I started to like really get into basketball, Melo was at the Knicks, and yeah, he was very ball dominant, and he wasn't amazing, but I just think I liked about it. Seeing Melo in a Knicks jersey, is something right about it.
Well, you've seen Carmelo play for your Thunder. How bad was he?
Yeah, he was awful. Send him back to the Knicks. That's what I mean. Just get him away. No, but I do like Melo. I just want to see him at the Knicks, just because I'm very nostalgic, and it sits right.
That's why I wanted Kobe back on the Sixers, but he messed up. No one in Philadelphia loves him anymore. He betrayed us.
Leaving the Knicks, going over the bridge, and we're at Brooklyn. And we're talking about how toxic Kyrie is. He's at the Nets now.
Well, I feel sorry for Karis LeVert. I feel sorry for Joe Harris. I feel sorry for Spencer Dinwiddie. I feel sorry for Torian Prince.
Don't list the whole team. Don't list the whole team.
I feel sorry for everyone on that team. Well, I mean, just look at what he did in Boston last year. He messed with Jaylen Brown, messed with Jason Tatum. He basically ran Al Horford out of town. He tore that team apart, really. And now he's going to do it again.
We were saying how he affected like the good players at Boston with Hayward and Tatum and Brown, but now he's going to affect these players, or potentially affect these players negatively, and they're not on the level of Tatum and Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart. They're a level below that. So you can only think, if he's the same person that he has been all his career, it's probably not going to go excellently for the Nets, especially with KD being out for the whole season as well.
And you know what I don't understand, like how Kyrie is like brandished out to be a superstar, where the only thing he's done in his career, hit that one big shot against the Warriors in the finals. Apart from that, he's just been LeBron's sidekick.
No, they went for up 33 in that game, didn't they?
He's a sidekick. Like he's never been good at leading the team, and now he's been tasked this season to lead this bad team. And he's gonna be a disaster. Like this team is just not good. Like. So Kyrie's going to get like 25-30 shots a game, and if on the off chance he decides to pass the ball, like God forbid he passes the ball, but if he does pass the ball to like Karis LeVert, he's not going to pass that ball to someone else. He's going, oh God, when am I going to get the ball again? So I might just need to shoot. So, and the same could be said for everyone else on the team. But it wouldn't surprise me if we get to December, the Nets have a losing record, and then Kyrie all of a sudden gets a knee injury and he's out for the rest of the season, just to save his reputation, really.
Yeah, I don't think their wins would go up, though, if Kyrie dropped down.
They're going to be fighting for the number one pick. Maybe if it goes that bad, but I don't know if it will.
I don't think it'll go that bad. They'll be playoff contenders. But you were saying about Kyrie not passing the ball. He did average 6.9 assists a game last season.
You got to watch the games.
But the passing ability is there. He might only pass the ball 6 times.
It's probably
it probably was just 6, because he passed it to Tatum and he was just scoring. Yeah. But yeah, it's not just the fact that Kyrie might like make that dressing room toxic. It's the fact that There's almost zero defense on their starting five.
Yeah, it's disgusting. Kyrie he's a bad defender, I think. LeVert, well, I know he's a bad defender. I've seen him play many times and he's just not good. LeVert could be a good one day, but he's just not there yet. Joe Harris, the Sixers abused him in the playoffs. He has no right being on the court in the playoffs because he can't defend a lick. Torian Prince, I mean, he's decent. He can defend.
He's not the best defender. He's more offense orientated.
If he's going to be the power forward at 6'7", he's going to get burnt. He's going to get toasted. And DeAndre Jordan, he's washed up. He's not half the player he was anymore.
Do you think Jordan will start, or do you think they'll go with Jordan?
Well, Jordan's Kyrie's friend, isn't he? So Kyrie's going to say, start Jordan, or I'm going to mess shit up.
But Allen's the block guy. He's Mr. Block. He gets all the blocks.
Yeah, but Kyrie's going to carry. He's going to demand his best friend to start.
Probably. When I look at teams, his backcourt, I always put them up against the 76ers and think, can they defend Ben Simmons? And the answer is almost always no.
Yeah.
And then I look, who can they switch on to Simmons? And it's nobody. Obviously, the Sixers are a unique example because nobody else has a 7-foot guard in their backcourt. You even look at the Heat with Justice Winslow probably playing point guard this season. They're not going to be able to defend a player like that either. It's Kyrie Irving's the type of player that he'll stay on you and he'll be difficult for you, but he's always going to be looking to just get the steal rather than just stand you up and defend you. So you're gonna have to, if you just move the ball against this Nets team, they're gonna struggle.
And when Boston played Philly, last however long Kyrie was there, last 2 years, they'd always put Kyrie on JJ Redick because he was the least scary offensive player.
Yeah.
But now there's no one to hide Kyrie on. So I mean, obviously most teams have at least one bad offensive player. They'll just put Kyrie on just to hide him. But it's not a good team. And if you're looking back on last season with Brooklyn, literally everything that could have gone right for them went right for them. They had team chemistry. I mean, good. They went on a good run. And I think it was December time where they had a players meeting, where Ed Davis, Jared Dudley, and Damari Carroll just basically gave a lecture to all the young guys about how to play. And that's when they turned the season around. Now all them players are gone. All their leaders and their best players are gone, and they're replacing them with Kyrie. That's such a big disaster.
Yeah, Kyrie's not going to give you that mid-season talk. He's more likely just to shout at you every single game, and then they're going to start crying.
He did it in Boston last year, and that's exactly what happened. The season completely went south.
Yeah, as well as the toxicity and the bad defense, there's no real bench depth either. Dinwiddie's going to get you some points.
We can't defend, so that's completely negated out.
Temple,
I mean, he's a solid 3-and-D player, but he's nothing special.
Yeah, he's not going to be your Lou Williams, the guy you want off the... Obviously not Lou Williams is standard, but I'm talking about the player off the bench that will get you in the teens, in the points.
He might score 5 points a game.
Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't look good for the Nets, even though the Nets fans were happy they got Kyrie and KD. It's probably not that big.
The fact that Wilson Chandler's a backup power forward just says how bad it is. He's awful. Oh my god.
What about some of these rookies though, Claxton and Hans?
I can't really see them having much of an impact right away. Especially Hans. He's so raw. He might not play for the next 2-3 years, to be honest. Claxton could have he's gonna have to play at some point because he's one of the only big players on the team, 6'11". So he's going to have to play eventually, whether he's ready or not.
Moving on to their record. Obviously, the record last season was 41 wins. Just got into the playoffs. Where do you see them this season?
Well, if everything goes right, they might get 40, but considering everything that's going to go wrong, I think they'll be lucky to get to 35, I think.
Yeah, I kind of... Even though I went off the basis that that can be a good time in Brooklyn, I said they'd probably still contend, maybe get 38 wins. That might be pushing it though. If KD comes back early, maybe 38 wins. But I'll probably change that when we get closer to the season.
If the worst case scenario happens and Kyrie does fake an injury in December and misses the rest of the season just to save his reputation, I think the Nets might just try and tank.
It could be.
Get the first
It
pick.
could be next. Last year's Knicks.
Look at the Lakers from last year when LeBron went down, and they just they just started losing. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens again with the Nets.
Yeah, it's an option for them. Oh, what's that? Oh, hey Drake. Oh, so you want us to talk about the Raptors? Sure thing, buddy. Canada, the Raptors, possibly the team to go from championship winners to failing to make the playoffs.
Completely disagree.
Good start.
I like it. I mean, obviously, I like the team, but like losing Danny Green and Kawhi is obviously like bad. It's not
That's
ideal.
like all of their defense gone.
But like OG Anunoby is stepping into the starting small forward. I really like him. I think one day he could be a like good player.
Is he fit? Missed a lot of last season.
I mean, he's always injured, but when he is healthy, he's a really good defender. So I'm not writing him off. They're still gonna have a strong season, I think. I mean, you still have to like project Pascal Siakam's improvement as well. This is going to be a second year of being like a featured part of the offense. So I wouldn't be surprised if he goes off and averages like 22 a game.
Yeah, just looking at that team, when you take out Kawhi and Danny Green, Danny Green didn't put up massive points, but he could do.
Just his influence, like defending, shooting.
So you're trying to replace those figures, and obviously Siakam put up 16.9 points a game. I can see him getting like 20s, like 25 points.
Could he be the first player to win back-to-back most improved players?
No.
You never know. Has that ever been done before?
Probably not. I feel like you can't win most improved player then win it again.
I mean, what if he comes out averages 25 points? Like 9 more than last year.
Yeah, I still think I don't think you can win that award 2 years in a row. But anyway, if he will be the main like guy on offense, and he could put up like a lot more points than he did last season. But then again, who else is gonna get the points? Kyle Lowry, he can, but is he that consistent? Obviously, him and Van Fleet came big in the playoffs. Well, not all the playoffs. Obviously, Kyle Lowry...
Only in the finals.
Kyle Lowry started really badly in the playoffs.
Van Fleet saw like 0 for 25 against us.
Kyle Lowry put up 0 points against Orlando in the first game.
Yeah, forget
But, but, yeah, they came big in the finals. Then are they going to go big for a whole 82-game season?
Nope.
So I'm just looking at it thinking... Obviously, they've still got Gasol and Ibaka, but Gasol and Ibaka who are every year getting older, because that's how age works.
Yeah. Genius.
Yeah. And again, looking at the bench, they've not really brought in anybody that is gonna...
Anyone good.
Yeah, anybody good. Cameron Payne's there, of course. You're gonna get some good dance moves pre-game. But nobody who's gonna, like... you gotta replace the points that Kawhi brought in. I don't think that's gonna happen.
Right. They waited so long for him to make his decision. Like, by the time they found out he was leaving them, there's no good players left on the market, really.
Yeah, Kawhi screwed them over.
I feel like the least Kawhi could have done is like a sign and trade just to get some assets for Toronto.
Yeah, done some KD snaky movements.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to rely on their defense to win on games. They might have one of the worst offenses in the league, but again, they're another team with very little height. Like bringing in Stanley Johnson, Hollis Jefferson, Cam Payne. What are they going to do? I just can't, like, Cam Payne, he's useless. You might be able
Whoa. We said he can dance.
He can dance. What else can he do?
I mean, when Siakam hits a corner three, he'll dance in the corner. He did it for OKC. We all loved it. It was good.
Then
like
Hollis Jefferson, he's another like player who he doesn't do much. He can't shoot. He can't ball handle. And against the Sixers in the playoffs, he played centre at 6'6".
Yeah, not the ideal player.
I don't get where they're going to play him. And Stanley Johnson, one of the biggest like draft disappointments in the last couple of years, because there's so much promise of people comparing him to Kawhi at one point.
Yikes!
And look how that's turned out. Who knows? He might be Kawhi 2.0.
I mean, yeah, he's the direct switch. He'll start and small forward. Yeah. And back-to-back playoff, back-to-back championships. Then well done, Raptors.
Genius.
What a great move that was. No, but yeah, I feel like. Obviously, not many teams have gone from winning championships to missing the playoffs. I think only 4 teams in the NBA history have done it. But I feel like Raptors could be another one. How many wins do you see them getting?
I think they'll still get a solid, like, anywhere between 44 and 48 wins. They're still going to be a top 4 seed,
See,
maybe 5th seed.
I've got them getting like, maybe 40 wins. I just can't see, like, Lowry, Powell, Van Fleet, I can't see them getting the points that they need.
That's one of the best defensive teams in the league.
Yeah, defensively. Yeah, defense wins championships,
yeah.
we know. But offense is also good too.
As long as they can score at least 95 points a game, they'll win a lot of their games.
You're saying all of Raptors games are going to be like 80s, like
88 to
95.
It could be.
They could do it, but like, they come up against, like, say they come up against the Celtics. I can see Kemba dropping like 30 on them.
I think the Raptors are better than the Celtics. Put them in like a 7-game series. I think the Raptors win 5 or 6.
But then you've got the Celtics got a better record than the Raptors.
Yeah, could they just deeper in the playoff in the regular season?
I don't know. I might be wrong about Raptors. It might just be me not liking them.
Hate them.
I might just be extremely biased because I don't like them. But I just can't see it. I can't. They might still make the playoffs. They might scrape in the 8th seed above potential teams like the Heat, the Hawks. Or they might not. Or they might finish 3rd. But very unlikely.
I think it could happen. It wouldn't shock me at all.
So the Atlantic Division for us, I think we're both in agreement that the Sixers will top it. The Celtics will be in 2nd.
Or the Raptors for me.
Then the Raptors in 3rd, Nets in 4th, and the Knicks at the bottom yet again.
Yeah, no surprise.
Thanks for listening to the 4th episode of the PostUp podcast. In 2 weeks' time, we'll be back to discuss the Central Division, and we'll do the same thing we did this week. Thanks for listening. Follow us on Twitter, and we'll be back very soon.